Exclusive interview with former agent, unveiling the darkest department of the CCP. Thousands of cracks found in 353 Xichang homes 6 months after delivery. Mainland banks lift limits on insurance partnerships, sparking debate. Japan and ASEAN develop first strategic plan to counter the influx of Chinese electric vehicles. Chinese firms rush into EU electric bus market, European veteran car companies go bankrupt. White House orders shutdown of Chinese-backed crypto mine near U.S. Air Force Base. It's all covered in today's China Truths. Exclusive interview with former agent, unveiling the darkest department of the CCP. Last year, a secret agent named Eric, who belonged to the POLIT to Australia. He disclosed the functions of the Political Security Bureau to Australian intelligence organizations and the media, detailing how they pursue dissidents overseas. Eric also gave a telephone interview to China Forbidden News. Former Political Security Bureau agent, Eric, I now use my alias, Eric. I was once part of China's secret police, specifically the first bureau under the Ministry of Public Security, the Political Security Bureau. I worked there for about 15 years, from 2008 until 2023 when I left China. Now, I am in Australia. The Political Security Bureau, formerly known as the Domestic Security Bureau, externally claimed to provide business guidance to the nation's political security police forces. Eric revealed the true and sole purpose of this mysterious department. Eric described it as the darkest department within the Chinese Communist government. Eric, in China, the core political issue is the party's regime, the party's governance. This bureau is a political police, a secret political police, directly safeguarding the party's leadership, so it has a very special status. In dealing with anti-communist individuals, these people are, to some extent, beyond legal procedures, somewhat unprotected by law. Therefore, they can certainly undertake some unbridled actions. Hence, I say it is the darkest political department. Eric revealed that the Bureau's overseas targets primarily include anti-communist and anti-Xi individuals. Pursuing dissidents overseas equates to violating the sovereignty of other nations and secretly arresting individuals, thus Eric had to disguise his identity. For secret police's overseas targets also include Falun Gong practitioners. Eric, for example, I once received a target, an alias Tangjin, real name Li Guixin. They wanted to capture him. At that time, they issued his information, including his family's details and previous addresses. Although Li Guixin had moved from that address by the time they investigated, they somehow obtained a video and based on that, pinpointed an area and tasked me to specifically identify which apartment and unit he was in. Thousands of cracks found in 353 Xichang homes 6 months after delivery. Just 6 months after the Bangtai Mansion residential area in Xichang City, Sichuan Province handed over homes to buyers, 353 homeowners reported a total of 1,798 cracks in their properties. Despite these alarming figures, a testing company hired by the developer claimed that these cracks do not compromise the structural integrity of the buildings. The homeowners, however, are not convinced by this assurance. This issue quickly became a hot topic on Baidu on May 20th. Huang Yu, pseudonym, a resident of the community, disclosed to Cover News that his apartment began showing multiple cracks in walls and floors only half a year after he received the keys. Reports from other homeowners echo Huang's concerns, with over 300 expressing dissatisfaction due to similar issues in their own homes. The Luzhong Morning News reported on May 19 that these cracks have been found in various parts of the homes, such as living room walls, main bedroom beams, and floors, among other areas. Some homeowners have even halted their renovation and moving plans due to the severity of the wall cracks. In response to the complaints, Xichang Bangtai Real Estate Company, Limited, the developer, initiated an investigation through the Sichuan Construction Engineering Quality Inspection Center Company, Limited on April 10. Their findings, released in a May 8 notice, stated that the cracks were mainly due to uneven shrinkage of concrete and wall materials, influenced by external environmental factors. The report concluded that these were typical quality issues common in construction and did not pose a safety threat. However, homeowners remain skeptical. One expressed frustration over the developer's delayed response and ongoing assurances that downplay the seriousness of the issue. Further negotiations took place on May 17, with the city's Construction Engineering Affairs Center agreeing to engage a third-party institution to reassess the building's safety and an expert to analyze the construction quality. The Bangtai Sia Mansion, a once sought-after development located in a prime area of Xichang near schools and commercial districts, includes 9 buildings with 412 units. Despite assurances, the issue has sparked widespread concern and debate among netizens, many of whom question the safety of living in a building with such extensive cracking, fearing potential structural failures in the future. Mainland banks lift limits on insurance partnerships, sparking debate. On the evening of May 9, the National Financial Supervisory Administration of China issued a notice on matters related to commercial banks' insurance agency business. The notice announces that banks are no longer restricted in the number of insurance companies they can partner with. This applies to all banking services, including internet insurance, telephone sales, and other insurance-related activities, across all branch levels. Secondly, it requires insurance companies to develop partnerships with commercial banks, which should ideally be established through written agency agreements signed by both legal entities. Thirdly, it defines the commission standards for bank agency services. Previously, a 2019 notice from the Office of the China Banking and Insurance Regulatory Commission stipulated in Article 39, Paragraph 2, that each bank branch could only cooperate with up to 3 insurance companies within the same fiscal year. Following a regulatory change, a popular microblogger known as Uncle Chi Comeback expressed concerns on May 19 that banks could become major hubs for selling insurance, given their effectiveness as sales channels, particularly through branch networks. Uncle Chi explained that bank branches are often visited by wealthy older adults who may not have the best judgment, thus, they are easy targets for salespeople who might convince them to switch their savings to insurance policies. He added that with fewer restrictions and smaller profit margins on traditional banking services, banks are likely to push insurance products aggressively to earn commission fees. The actual benefits of these insurance policies may not be closely scrutinized by the banks as long as they are profitable. He warned that incidents of customers being misled into buying insurance instead of saving might increase, advising those with elderly relatives to use mobile banking to avoid potential scams at bank branches. Uncle Chi attributed the removal of partnership limits to the fact that people are depositing money without spending or borrowing, which leads to banks having excess cash that they can't lend out. This makes deposits costly for banks due to low interest earnings. Despite lower interest rates from the central bank, the public's spending remains low, increasing their desire to save, leading to heightened financial caution. This commentary struck a chord with many online users, who urged the public to be vigilant. One netizen stated, "Should ordinary people take such risks just for banks to profit?" Numerous reports have described both elderly and young people being deceived into buying financial products or insurance at banks, and then being unable to access their funds when needed. Isn't this essentially fraud? How do we protect the rights of ordinary citizens? A further piece of advice from a netizen was, always clarify to bank staff that you are there only to deposit money. If they present you with any document to sign or ask for a fingerprint, immediately alert the police, explain the situation, and have them document the transaction. Japan and ASEAN develop first strategic plan to counter the influx of Chinese electric vehicles. Japan and ASEAN are collaborating to create a strategic plan to counter the influx of Chinese electric vehicles into Southeast Asia. This initiative aims to establish the first joint automobile production and sales strategy in the region by 2035, with plans to start discussions at the Economic Ministers' meeting in September this year. Chinese automakers like BYD are exporting a significant number of vehicles, particularly electric vehicles, to various markets including Europe and Southeast Asia. These vehicles are often priced competitively to capture market share. ASEAN is a crucial production hub for Japanese automakers like Toyota and Honda, where they assemble over 3 million vehicles annually, making up about 80% of the region's total production. The joint strategy is expected to cover various aspects including workforce training, production decarbonization, mineral resource procurement, investments in next-generation fields like biofuels, and promoting the environmental benefits of ASEAN-manufactured vehicles globally. In terms of workforce training, Japan intends to use 140 billion yen, approximately $900 million, from the Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry's budget to assist countries in the Global South. Factory workers and component suppliers will receive training in digital technologies. Japanese technology will be used to measure carbon dioxide emissions from factories and facilitate the shift towards renewable energy. In terms of investments in next-generation fields, the partners will consider joint procurement of rare materials used in electric vehicle batteries and explore areas such as battery recycling. One of the projects under consideration is the development of biofuel made from discarded cooking oil. Japan and ASEAN will jointly promote these environmental efforts globally to boost car exports. They will also collaborate on forecasting the global car market in 2035, including developing countries. The backdrop to this initiative is the competitive pressure from Chinese automakers, who benefit from substantial domestic subsidies. These subsidies have allowed Chinese manufacturers to expand significantly and challenge Japanese dominance in the automotive sector. A study by the Kiel Institute for the World Economy highlighted that Chinese subsidies are several times higher than those in other OECD countries, benefiting companies like BYD enormously. Amidst growing Chinese influence in the regional automotive market, Japan and ASEAN are moving towards a more unified approach to maintain competitiveness and ensure sustainability in their automotive industries. Chinese firms rush into EU electric bus market, European veteran car companies go bankrupt. According to a report by Politico.eu on May 10, 1/5 of the electric vehicles sold in Europe last year came from China, and the European Transport and Environment Federation, TNE, predicts that the proportion will increase to 1/4 this year. However, the report indicated that not only the marketing of general electric vehicles in the EU market is affected, but there are also recent reports of unfair trade practices by China affecting the European electric bus market. As the EU has decided to ban the sale of carbon dioxide-emitting buses by 2035 and achieve a 90% reduction target by 2030, the European electric bus market continues to expand, with Chinese car companies progressively entering the electric bus market. According to a report by the Dutch consulting firm Xichang CME Solutions, the top 12 European car companies sold a total of 5,107 electric buses last year, nearly 1/3 of which were produced by Chinese Xichang, BYD, and the joint venture between BYD and the British company Alexander Dennis, as well as Shutdown. In January this year, BYD won a contract worth €43 million for 92 buses from the Belgian transportation company De Line, which also included additional clauses that would enable BYD to provide 500 buses to the company in the future, bringing BYD a net revenue of €234 million. This has had a severe impact on Dutch bus manufacturer VDL Bus & Coach and the local Belgian car company Van Hool, which declared bankruptcy last month. VDL spokesperson Neil Timmers stated that BYD receives substantial subsidies from the Chinese government, and VDL has been calling for the EU to take action for many years to ensure fair competition. Thomas Fabian, Chief Commercial Vehicle Officer at the lobbying group European Automobile Manufacturers Association, ACA, believes that Chinese car companies have gained market share in the EU for several years, and policymakers have a responsibility to ensure that electric bus manufacturers can continue to compete in a fair environment. some European companies have expressed hopes that Brussels will pay attention to the electric bus market and scrutinize Chinese car manufacturers producing electric vehicles, but the European Commission has not yet taken any measures to scrutinize the electric bus market. White House orders shutdown of Chinese-backed crypto mine near U.S. Air Force Base. The United States is increasingly concerned about the national security risks posed by Chinese investments in local real estate. On May 13, President Biden issued an executive order requiring the cryptocurrency mining company Mainland Partners Limited and its partners to sell their property located less than 1 mile from Francis E. Warren Air Force Base in Wyoming within 120 days, and to dismantle all buildings and equipment on the site within 90 days. Mainland Partners is registered in the British Virgin Islands and is actually controlled by a Chinese citizen. In June 2022, Mainland Partners purchased the property without notifying the Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States, CFIUS, to build a cryptocurrency mining farm and began operations in early 2023. Warren Air Force Base houses some of the U.S. intercontinental ballistic missile arsenals. The White House stated that foreign-owned real estate near strategic missile bases and critical elements of the U.S. nuclear triad poses a national security risk. Taiwanese military expert Xichang commented, "The CCP treats all private companies as chips or pawns that must be loyal to the CCP. It is very likely that they would also require this company to conduct some surveillance, especially since it is not far from a U.S. military base. The U.S. has probably been monitoring this company for a long time and must have solid evidence before ordering its closure and the removal of all items and buildings on the site." The property used for the mine is also adjacent to a Microsoft data center that supports the Pentagon. Documents submitted by Microsoft to CFIUS warn that this location could enable Beijing to conduct comprehensive intelligence gathering operations. The White House's executive order also mentioned that the mine houses foreign procurement equipment that could facilitate surveillance and espionage activities. A New York Times investigation found that the majority of cryptocurrency mining equipment in the U.S. is manufactured by the Chinese company Bitmain, exported through its subsidiary Hainan Bitmain Technology, which is located in a state-run hotel in the area. The mining equipment at the Mainland Partners site near the Wyoming Air Force Base was provided by Bitmain. In 2017 and 2019, researchers discovered backdoors in this Chinese equipment, allowing Bitmain to remotely control the mining machines. The investigation also revealed that companies with Chinese funding own a large number of Bitcoin mines in 12 U.S. states. The actual controllers of these mines, operated through shell companies, often have connections with the Chinese government or state-owned enterprises. Taiwanese military expert Xichang noted that in recent years, Chinese investments have continued to aggressively acquire U.S. land, including farmland. Xichang added, "Why are the lands or industries you acquire so close to my secret facilities or military installations?" This certainly raises increasing alarm in the U.S. Besides the federal government, various states are gradually starting to take more vigilant actions regarding these commercial activities. Currently, nearly 24 states, including Florida and Texas, have introduced or enacted legislation restricting Chinese purchases of land, buildings, and houses, some of which are even stricter than federal laws. Don't forget to comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. If you find the information helpful, please share this video with a friend to watch together. This will be a great source of motivation for our team to produce more and more quality and reliable videos. And also don't forget to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths. Thank you for tuning in.